at your
I
jokes.
would love to believe. It would make me no more happier to believe in Mashiach than anything else. So for me, I'd love to hear more about this.
Let's just crunch it down.
Yeah.
First of all, you're saying, I'm going to validate it. You're right. I grew up going to very Haredi yeshivas. They don't talk about this stuff. They don't make it part of the limud thing. They'll finish the Devar Torah, and B'ezrat Hashem, right? We'll have, Beis HaMikdash, B'mhira Amen, when Mashiach comes. You're like, what? And that was the end of it, We're children, we're not so interested. Leaving aside Chabad introduced it because Lubavitch Rebbe saw it was missing. So he made it one of the fundamental influences we need to put into our lives. I actually use the Chabad Chumash every Shabbat. It's a beautiful one, actually. And
you have to plug that more. I'm sorry. That is my favorite Chumash, and it helps me get
really
davening.
It really is
every single Shabbat.
What's this Chumash?
There is a brown, well-known Chumash, and now they have a version in blue.
Yeah.
And it's written by Chabad, and they take the story of the Chumash, of the Torah, and they write it, and they have in bold the words that are being told in the Torah, but not in bold. They have the storyline.
Right, they interpolate it, which means while you're reading the English, it's not just an English translation, it's also a description, explanation, so it's a lot more readable.
Every Shabbos, when I'm listening to the Torah, instead of listening it and reading it, the Hebrew words, I'm following along with either a brown or a blue Chumash given and created by Chabad. Kudos to them. Yeah. And I really believe everyone should have a copy.
So leaving that aside for just a second, there is an idea which is central to Judaism, but it is a belief. It's a belief because it hasn't happened yet. Okay, although those who follow my stuff will know that we are seeing very clear signs, without a shadow of a doubt, that we're on the cusp, right? We're in the transition phase from before Mashiach to after Mashiach, but they're not just Jews, right? The Goyim, the Christians, and even the Muslims are very into this topic. Actually, if you want to understand what's happening in the Middle East today, you need to understand Iran, because they're funding all their proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, in order to attack us, and they are actually an Islamist, jihadi, messianic death cult. So they also, I know it sounds crazy, but they are also into this topic. Obviously, they're getting it wrong. So what's the Jewish view? So there's two ways to just download this topic very quickly into your brain. And that is the view of the Rambam and those who follow him. And that's more rationalistic, which is there's going to be a time when the Jewish people are going to be able to return to the land of Israel. And this is from the prophets. There's a lot written on Mashiach. There's very little written on Tchias HaMesim, resurrection of the dead. So that's another topic which is going to follow Mashiach. But Mashiach, there's a lot written on it. There's tons written on it, right? You have Nevi'im, prophets, you have Gemaras, right? Rishonim, Acharonim, everyone writes about it. So the Rambam basically says the world's going to carry on as is. Olam holech minhago. And the Jewish people are going to return to Israel, which we've been seeing for the past 50, 60 years and even more. And we're going to be living safely in our land with no more war, which is tough to see, but right now. And we're going to be at peace, and royalty is going to return. Mashiach is a king. Actually, Mashiach doesn't mean savior. Ask most Jewish people, even religious one, what does Mashiach mean? He's a savior. It's not what he is. Mashiach means to anoint, which is to pour something on something else to make it special. What the prophet would do, he would take oil, olive oil, put it into a horn, and he would pour it into the shape of a crown on the head of the future king. It's like Samuel did to David HaMelech, and that made him into king. That's what it means. The anointed one, the special one. The word Mashiach doesn't even refer specifically to Mashiach as we understand it, right? There are Kohanim are called Mashiach. There's a Kohen Mashiach, right? So there's many different jobs. It means a position of great leadership. So we're going to have a great leader.
By the way, you already kind of made me feel a little bit better. Like I'm, you trying to download into my brain just by that alone. I'm 1% feeling better because
keep going.
I thought Mashiach really means, that's really what I thought. I thought Mashiach is like a savior who's going to come and is going to a magic wand and is going to change the whole world and everything's going to be upended. And it's not, you're saying, no, things are going to be regular. And it's going to be an anointed king. It's going to be someone who's going to come and it's going to be a leader.
Correct.
So more realistic.
He's more realistic. It's sounding much more down to earth.
And by the way, the Rambam describes it that way. And I'm pleased you're being very honest, which I appreciate. Most people have this idea. But the idea we have of Mashiach, unfortunately, comes from Christianity, right? There's some super being who's like God, or in their case is God. Okay, not at all. He's going to be a normal man, flesh and blood, challenges. He's going to be selected as the king of the Jewish people. We're going to return to Israel. And the third and final temple is going to be built on Har HaBayis, right, on Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And the Jewish people are going to return, and we're all going to live there. We're ready. It's a process. It takes time. I know we're told, as soon as you wake up and Mashiach's here and everything's going to be great. That's not true.
You see, but that's what they did. They really dumbed it down to a point of it's like a fairy tale.
Which